Hi, Sterling, and thanks for being here today. It's a
My
pleasure
pleasure.
for me to be talking with you in spite of the distance because you are in the USA and I'm here in Spain. And it's my understood that the guilty of this project is an Xbox game, Forza. Could you explain the story behind this?
Sure. The whole impetus for this project was my son, and we play a game called Forza Horizon, and we were playing the game. We always got in the Lamborghini Aventador because it's our favorite car. And while playing the game one day, Xander quipped to me that
Yeah.
could we build a car like an Aventador? Because obviously we couldn't afford one because it's 600,000 US or north of there.
Okay.
And I said, well, being a car guy, I've always wanted to build a supercar, so I said yes.
Okay. How about the design? Did you do it from scratch or you download from the net or something like that?
It's kind of been a combination of things, but the first place we started was with a 10th scale model.
Mm-hmm.
So I got out my little calipers and we measured the model very carefully, and then we could resize it in CAD. So we have a CAD program, and we just blew it up. We know what the wheelbase and the track width needs to be, and so we just blew it up full size. And that's where we got started. But we've
Okay.
made a lot of adjustments to the design since then.
Okay, very good. Because you are physics as a profession, you are physics, and you know about design and machines in general because of your work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a laser physicist by trade, so that's what I do. I design and build lasers for industry, medical lasers
Yeah.
for the government, stuff like that.
Okay.
And so, yes, I do have a lot of exposure to things like CAD software, CAM software, and doing mechanical design.
Okay. This is essential for this kind of projects to have some knowledge in these fields.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's essential to start. It's
Mm-hmm.
essential that you need to learn as you go along, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the kinds of tools that you will need in order to move forward with a project such as this.
Okay.
That you gotta somehow get it into the virtual environment so that you can then port it to
Yeah.
a 3D printer.
Yeah. And talking about printers, what models are you using nowadays? Because I think that you need a big building volume. So I am thinking about CR10 or an cubic Chiron. I don't know. What are
Yeah,
your models?
you're exactly right. A lot of people, when we show the car, have said, wow, does your printer take up a whole room? And I say, no, it's a desktop printer I bought on Amazon.
Mhm.
The first printer I bought was a Queedy X Pro, and
Okay.
that's where we started. It's relatively small. I think it's maybe 150 millimeters on its max dimension.
Hmm.
Then we went to a CR10,
Okay.
and that's where we printed most of these body panels that you see here.
Hmm.
But we then, it's kind of a funny story because we got involved with Lamborghini to do a commercial for them
Oh, yeah.
because they liked the project so much. And we needed a 3D printer to show in there. And one of my printers broke down and I couldn't get it fixed. So I had to show my little Queedy printer. And they saw the video and then sent me a brand new big printer.
Oh my
So
God.
it was kind of nice of them to actually acknowledge the project and donate something like that to it.
That was one of the question. The question was, and has Lambo company interest in your project? Are they contact to you or by social or something, as you said before?
Yeah, they contacted me through one of their marketing companies, Havas Milan, and they were trying to get a hold of me. Their chief marketing officer, Katya Bassi,
Hmm.
was trying to get a hold of me, and we finally connected. And she told me about this project that they
Okay.
wanted to do with us, which
Yeah.
I was like, "What?" Lamborghini wants to do a project with me.
This is incredible that a big company as Lambo contact you.
Yeah,
This
I was
was
really nervous on the phone with her. I mean, I couldn't believe I was actually, you know, they'd been my dream car since I was a child, and to be able talking to the chief marketing officer of Lamborghini, wow, it's like
such
talking to
as
the Pope.
such experience for you. Okay,
Yeah.
and how many rolls or kilos have you spent so far? Did you do any check before starting to print or just start printing?
No, we just went for it. Yeah, I kind of dive into things like that, but I also like to finish projects as well. So we knew that the cost was not going to be prohibitive because we had a certain budget of a few tens of thousands of dollars. Um, and I went through about 220 kilos of filament in
Mhm.
the initial go of this, and about 50 kilos ended up as trash. As bad prints or just didn't turn out the way I wanted it, and things of that
Okay.
nature. So it was a hefty investment in filament.
And which nozzle size do you use for your prints? Do you use zero point 0.8 or zero point 0.4 nozzle?
I used 0.4.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's the I tried the larger nozzles, and some of the problems was getting the adhesion between the layers wasn't as good. Even though the prints would come out faster, they would not come out anywhere near as strong.
Okay.
So there was a lot of trial and error in the actual printing
Mhm.
of these panels. And now we've actually settled on a formula. A lot of the panels that are actually still on the car do not follow that formula. So
Okay.
anything that we do that's new on the vehicle, we do with the new formula.
Okay. And what do you use to stick together all the panels and all the pieces?
I used when I was using PLA, which is mostly what's on the car now. We're
Mm-hmm.
replacing a lot of the stuff there with ABS.
ABS.
And so with the PLA, we're using a epoxy called MMA epoxy. It actually is quite strong and holds the PLA very, very tightly together.
Okay.
And then now that we're using ABS, we're obviously using ABS glue.
Okay. And for critical parts, like the main structure of the car, are you using harder materials as metal or carbon fiber?
Yeah, the entire frame of the car is done in steel.
Steel.
So it's about 5 millimeters thick.
Okay.
Steel tubing is the entire chassis is made out of. It's got a main frame and then two subframes on the front and the back.
Mm-hmm.
And those are all welded together.
So, which other techniques apart from FDM are you using? Maybe CNC and laser and.
No, actually, not using anything other than the 3D printer.
Oh my
So
God.
FDM is everything that we've done. I've had a
Okay.
few of the parts in steel water jet cut, but other than that, that's pretty much the technology that we're using.
Okay. And how much is the real car? How much is
That's
500,000 or?
it's any depending upon options, it's anywhere between 600,000 and $700,000 US.
Okay. And talking about the engine, the motor, are you using a proper Lambo engine or
I
it is?
wish. I wish and I don't wish. Actually, it's a blessing and a hindrance at the same time. First of all, they're very expensive, so
Okay. And
you'll
complex maybe.
spend 35 to $70,000
Mhm.
US for an engine, and then there's the maintenance on that engine. Parts and things of that nature are very expensive. So that's a big investment. So we went with what most replica builders go with, and that's an LS1 from a Chevrolet Corvette.
Okay.
So it's a V8.
But
Um,
the interiors are real, no? The steering and the
oh,
bucket.
so the interior itself is actually from a real Lamborghini.
Mm.
So we sourced those from multiple companies that deal in exotic, um, vehicle breaking or junkyards, and sometimes the parts are way too expensive. Sometimes the parts are affordable, and
Mhm.
so we've actually sourced most of the interior components So
Okay.
they are Aventador interior components.
It's
And the
like a
steering wheel
hybrid.
is actually, what's
It's
that?
it's like a hybrid between a Lambo, a real Lambo, and also
Yeah,
another
yeah, it's
cars.
got a lot of real Lamborghini parts on it.
Okay.
So,
And
but the
how
steering wheel itself was actually given to us by Lamborghini. That was one of their contributions to the project.
and how much time do you spend every day in this project? Do you have any timetable or a schedule that you follow every day?
No, we really don't. I've got three kids and a real job, and so time
Yeah.
is precious. We try to get in maybe an hour every night, so we
Okay.
try to at least keep our hands on it every
Mhm.
day. And then I get bulk of time on the weekends, and that's when we do our vlog on the build
Okay.
showing people where we are and what we're doing.
Okay. And do you have any deadline in mind, any date to finish this project?
In true car guy fashion, I would say no.
Okay. Okay.
But
And
there is a hope of maybe getting it on the road by um, probably by this fall.
oh,
We've had it running and driving in various forms. We took it to a show in September of last year for
mhm.
Extreme Experience. Uh, you can buy time in a car on a racetrack, and they wanted to kind of showcase our car there. And so we took it down to the venue and we got to drive it around a little bit there. Not
Okay.
very fast, of course. Worry
Okay.
about parts falling off.
Safety first.
Yes.
Okay. And which principles or values do you want to transmit to your son and your daughter? Because I think you have a daughter. And what values do you want to transmit to your kids?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the important part, and that's how, this project originally started as something fun for me to do and for my son to do. But it's really morphed into more of a STEAM or STEM project that we say over here, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Okay.
And that's to kind of give all kids around this project just show them what goes into a vehicle like this, what kind of technology, and what is important
Yeah.
to learn in school
Yeah.
for doing a project like this. And so, yes, I want to instill some of those values in my children to understand all of the technology that is available to them, as well as the trades. I do a lot of welding on here, and so
Okay.
a lot of cutting and grinding and
Yeah.
things of that nature. So
It
trying to give them a good envelope of skills so that when they go forward in life, they can take on, maybe not a project like this, but something comparable.
it is the perfect way for children to make them get involved in technology and new ways of building and doing things. So I agree with you in what you said before. And for people who are thinking about making a project like this, could you tell us some piece of advice related with all you have learned doing this ambitious project?
Uh, yeah, the biggest thing is going through life. A lot of us experience failure, and that's the biggest thing is that we've had a lot of failures. The first time I did the vacuum infusion progress with carbon fiber on one of the parts, I pulled a vacuum on it and I crushed it. So that
Wow.
was 2 weeks worth of printing out the window on our first attempt. But it's what you do after failing is what's important.
Okay.
And so I think that that's the big one right there is that, yes, you're going to run into problems. You're going to fall on your face.
Okay.
Learn as much as you can from the community and from, people who are doing somewhat of the same thing, but be willing to fail. Be willing to come back and try it again
Good
and do something
advices.
else.
Good
So
advice.
that's the big thing that we want to teach kids too is especially as a scientist myself, I screw up a lot. I have a lot of failures in my own uh, building of lasers and designing of lasers, but that's also capped by all the successes we have.
And
So yeah, so I think that's the real message of this project.
yeah. And how do you feel when people send you feedback and support? How do you feel when you read the comments or?
Yeah, I try to read all of our comments on our vlog, and they are overwhelmingly good. I have very few internet trolls. And so most people are just saying, hey, love the project, really like this. They ask questions, they make suggestions. So it's been overwhelmingly a very good experience. I expected, it to be kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
But the community is really, especially the people who have been following this project from day one, are just great. I mean, I love my community.
I think it is inspirational for anyone who likes printing and 3D printing work. Your project is so inspirational for people. And for people who are watching or who are going to watch this show, could you please go around the car? It is possible to go around the car and watch the project?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, thank you.
So we'll start with the
Yeah.
back end here. Okay.
Okay.
So this is actually where we started the project, with this back end. And that's the first thing we printed was this bumper. And this is bumper number 4. So you can see around as we go around the vehicle.
Okay. This is real carbon fiber. This is real carbon fiber.
All the carbon fiber you see in here is real.
Yeah.
Okay, so no fake carbon fiber. So this is actually, this piece right here, the scoop is actually all covered in carbon fiber.
Okay.
The rear engine cover is all carbon fiber as well.
Okay.
And it's an interesting, and clean off some of the dust. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a forged carbon look rather than the fabric that you see here.
Okay.
So,
and the white color is the final one?
This is going to be the color of the car.
Okay.
We're currently doing finishing each panel as we go.
Okay.
So I'm smoothing them all out and then painting them one at a time. And so the final color base color will be white. And then we'll have all the black accents.
Okay.
And then you can see this, we're getting towards the let me pull out here a little bit so we can see a little bit better.
I love your garage. I wish
it's a 2-car garage, so it's a little tight in here.
Okay.
But so you can see the door shell there. So, and then you can see we have the interior that you mentioned before. Get a good picture of that. There's the steering wheel.
Beautiful.
So all of this is Lamborghini interior.
Okay.
So the dash, steering wheel, all of that, center console. This piece, though, the lower piece that you can see there, that was 3D printed.
Okay.
So
it is a combination. It is a mix between.
So it's a combination because you also see something else in there, which is you see a gear shift lever, which you would never see in a real Aventador.
Yeah.
So it's a 6-speed.
Okay. Beautiful.
And then we've got the rest, which is kind of taken apart at this point. So you can see down here. So you can see some of the structure.
Do you have the panel of the front?
Yes, I do. Those are actually being worked on currently. So we're trying to get those. Let me go show you.
Okay.
So one of the panels that we have is this is the door skin right here.
Okay. Yeah.
That we're starting to body work.
So
I think I can get a better picture of it here.
Okay. Yeah. You have to sand all the parts and also. Okay.
Yeah, we have to sand all the parts. And then we body work them just like you would a normal car, So underneath all of this is carbon fiber.
Okay. So thank you.
Each panel has been skinned in carbon fiber.
Thank you, Sterling, for this tour around the car. This is amazing for me. And thanks a lot for this chat, Sterling. I know you are probably one of the most special talk I have had in my show, and also my first international chat. So thanks for this interview, kind of interview.
Of course.
And for people who want to follow your project, what socials do you have? Because you have Facebook page and YouTube.
Right. We have a Facebook page called 3D Car Printing.
Okay.
You can also just look up Laser Sterling on
Mhm.
Facebook and you'll find
Okay.
it. Same with our, we have a YouTube channel. Again, look for Laser Sterling
Okay.
and you should be able to find us pretty easily.
Okay. If you want, we can do another chat in the future when you finish the project, if you don't
Oh,
mind.
I would love that.
Okay. So
That would be
thank you.
awesome.
Thank you, Sterling, and see you on the internet. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.